Welcome to the Grit and Grind right here, round 4 on the Grit and Grind. As you can see, my partner Daryl is out this week. He's getting ready for Thanksgiving, or is he getting ready for the annual Thanksgiving Tarboro practice? Because he said last week, put me in the game, coach. I'm ready to play. It's the Elite 8. It's the regional round. It's your boy Shawn. We got you right here on the Grit and Grind on Studio 67. Let's go.
Here we go.
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind right here. I am so thankful because it is Thanksgiving week right here. So this is the show getting you ready while you're cooking, doing all your other things on Wednesday afternoon. We thank you. That's right, you, for tuning to the Grit and Grind and getting yourself ready as you start doing all the preparation for Thanksgiving. But we had a great week last week, an outstanding week of football. So let's jump into the Grit and Grind rewind and go back and look at some games from last week. That first one I want to look at is no other than Warren County. Shout out to those Warren County Eagles. They won 44-23 over the East Carteret Mariners of Carteret County. Big win for them right there. And I got to give a shout out to the team of Warren County, Coach VJ and the staff for doing something that has not been done all in the history of Warren County football. Getting to round 4. Warren County right there from when they won the Grit and Grind Battle I-85 trophy. Now they can say they made history again and got to round 4. Something never done in Eagles football right for Warren County. Big win for them. They got a big game this week right here that we're going to be making some picks on and talking about on the show. But if you're Warren County, outstanding job getting to round 4, making school history and making something that you now can put in the history book as being a round 4 participant in the North Carolina High School Athletic Association's playoffs. Now our next game will have to be no other than, let's run it back, Southern Nash and Hunt. Big game right here. If you are the Warriors of Hunt, you won this game 42-21. A lot of people wanted to see this game ran back. The Grit and Grind, we wanted to see it ran back because it was such a great game throughout the season. But Hunt was able to go in, control their turf, their home field advantage, and win 42-21. And it was a good game because like Coach Juan said, rain, sleet, snow, or hell, nothing's going to stop that Mojo Show. The Mojo Show won't stop. And the Mojo Show did not stop because Southern Nash made it a good game. But after halftime, Coach Jackson, the staff over there at Hunt, was able to make adjustments, slow down that Southern Nash heavy run offense, and was able to get Hunt in for a good win, setting up Hunt to make history right there. 20 years. Hunt has not been to round 4 in over 20 years. So this is big for Hunt. And I want to say, and if I'm wrong, please drop this in the comment box. This is the first time Hunt has made the round 4 since Coach Juan Jackson was playing for the Hunt Warriors as a running back for Hunt back in the days. So shout out to Hunt. Big win for them, like we said. But the one thing that sticks out to me was they were able to hold Southern Nash scoreless in the third quarter. That Hunt defense definitely stepped up right there. Shout out to Hunt as they move on to round 4. Now it's time for the Grit and Grind. Prime time game of the week. A big game. Me and Daryl was at this game last Friday night. 71st coming down from Fayetteville from the 910 to play Northern Nash. And it seems like both of these teams are always playing in the playoffs to get to a regional game or a state championship game. Most time they play in the regional round. This time they play in round 3. And you can see right there, Northern Nash running the ball, doing what Northern Nash does best. Northern Nash sitting in the pocket, making passes right there. Northern Nash was just doing all the right things at the right time. But you look at 71st right now. I believe that was Sean Paul on a big run for 71st. It went back and forth, tied at halftime, 14-14. Northern Nash was able just to control the ball, control the game, keep that 71st juggernaut offense down, and right there, big pass from Northern Nash. And that was the difference maker right there that opened up the game. they were just able to keep that 71st offense composed. Every time 71st looked like they were going to do something, Northern Nash able to stop. Big turnover on downs right there. There's the safety that sealed the game for Northern Nash. Good win for the Knights. And this one hurts me because I'm a fan of Coach McLaurin and Coach Farriss. Both of these high schools put on great games. I enjoy watching 71st play. I enjoy watching Northern Nash play. It truly hurt me to see 71st going home, just like it would have hurt me if it was Northern Nash going home. But only one team could win because both of them were in the same classifications, and the Knights of Northern Nash were able to be successful that night to win that game and continue their football season and pretty much end 71st right here in Knight Stadium. But let's go hear from the grit and grind players of the game and what it meant for a big win for the Northern Nash Knights. Welcome back to the Grit and Grind Friday night primetime game of the week. Whenever 71st and Northern Nash get together, you can just know it's going to go to the wire. But tonight, we got the Grit and Grind primetime players of the game because both of these young men play critical key plays to help Northern Nash advance to round 4. Who do you guys our grind player, the punter tonight?
It's Caleb Walston.
And who do we have as our grit player who made that big safety?
Holton Westbrook.
Caleb. When the punter comes in, he has the hardest job because you don't get to play every snap like everybody else. You got to come in off the bench and just either make a great punt or a great kick. Tell me, what was going through your mind when they knew they needed you to get a good punt to put 71st on the 2-yard line to help the defense get ready to get a defensive stand?
I mean, honestly, it's just consistency. I mean, every practice we practice sky punts, pinning them inside the 5, putting them in positions to get a safety. And when you got a guy like this getting a safety, I mean, he's done most of the work. I did my job. When everybody plays their job, stuff happens.
Shout out to the special teams.
Yeah, Ho, just like they say, you got the safety, but your defense stopped 2 good running backs. What was the game plan coming in this week to slow down 71st offense?
It was to play physical all game, no breaks the whole time. We practiced all week, fixing the outside run, the power the quarterback keeps, even the pass. We worked all week on that as hard as we possibly could, and we executed tonight.
Once again, young men, congratulations for being tonight's Grit and Grind primetime players of the game at tonight's game. Best of luck tonight as you guys move over to round 4 and continue your football season. Now back to the studio. Good win right there for Northern Nash, and both of those young men played a critical part in that 4th quarter and being able to get Northern Nash to the next round. The punt that pretty much pinned 71st on the 2-yard line, that was the icing on the cake right there because the punter came in and the first thing he thought in your mind is, how's he going to punt it? But he's been practicing those sky punts. He said when he punted and it rolled to the 2-yard line, it put 71st where they had to go almost 98 yards with 1 minute and 30 seconds left to try to either win the game or be able to kick a field goal for the win. But you had Holton come in on that 3rd down play that you saw in the clips of getting the safety that pretty much sealed the game for the Northern Nash Knights. Now, the Knights were playing good football, but not only was our Grit and Grind Friday night primetime players of the game, but let's go hear from the winning coach, head coach of Northern Nash, our good friend, Coach Farriss, as he had his Knights prepared to win this hard battle test game against 71st and prepare to move to round 4. Welcome back to the Grit and Grind Friday night primetime game. With us, we have the winning coach today, Coach Farriss. Congratulations on a hard-fought win against a good 71st Falcons team. Coach, big game right here, round 3 of the playoffs in your house. How does it feel to beat 71st in your house right now?
It's a relief. We knew how good they were going to be, and man, I've been dreading, just not dreading, but just knew it was going to be tough. So it definitely is a relief, and I'm elated. I'm so happy and proud of our guys.
And Coach, on the defense side of the ball, 71st, 2 running backs that have been averaging over 200 yards a game. How are y'all able to slow that offense down tonight?
Well, we really did work on that, throughout the week. Just some keys that we saw that we felt, were there, and obviously they broke a couple, and we had some breakdowns on that. But I was really proud for the most part. Our guys played really well on defense. We had some stops, down in there close. And I think probably seeing some film from last week of them against South Johnston. South Johnston was able to get a couple stops, so we felt like we could do that as well. So that was really gave us some confidence going into the game.
Coach Farriss, once again, congratulations on your Northern Nash Knights heading to round 4. And Coach, how's it feel to be heading to round 4 now, knowing you got a big game next week right back here at Death Valley?
Oh, yeah, I'm excited about that. That's what I told them. I said, guys, we're trying to get to Thanksgiving. So the first thing I said after the game was Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, Coach, before we leave, a good coach of mine told me if you're practicing on Thanksgiving, you're a real good football team.
You're right about that. Yep, great season.
Now back to the studio. Thank you, Coach Farriss.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
And you heard Coach Farriss. He was thankful that they won because he knew he had to play 71st in order to get to the next round. Both of these teams know, Northern and 71st, the fan base know it, the kids that play for both teams know it. They know to either get to a regional game or a state championship, they're going to have to run across each other sooner or later. Coach Farriss was able to be the winner that night and get his Northern Nash Knights to the next round. 71st, great season for you guys. Me and Darryl cannot wait to get back down to Fayetteville, see Coach McLaurin, see the staff down there, Mr. Green, all the great people at 71st to watch the grit and grind. We appreciate that, but we cannot wait to see you guys. But Northern Nash heading on. And as I stated right there, a good friend of mine, a great coach, said, if you're practicing on Thanksgiving morning, your team is doing something right because you're a pretty good football team. We'll get ready to hop into a commercial break, and then we'll be back to find out who was this week's Grit and Grind Road Warriors of the Week. You're watching the Grit and Grind on Studio 67 NCC.
Watching Grit and Grind on Studio 67. Go Tide!
Discover your purpose in science. Determined to help others heal. Ignite your purpose through culinary creativity. Fuel your purpose in technology and innovation. Your purpose starts here at Nash. Visit nashcc.edu.
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind. It's time to find out who was this week's Grit and Grind Road Warriors of the Week. And one thing about being the Road Warriors is you have to go on the road. And we always say this about playoff football. If you want to continue your season and not be heading to the layup line playing basketball, you're going to have to go on the road and win some tough road games in some hostile places. So let's see who was this week's Grit and Grind Road Warriors of the Week. Darryl has sent his in. So without further ado, the Road Warriors Darryl has is no other than the Southeast Raleigh Bulldogs. Coach Campbell and his guys were able to go into Cleveland last week. I said a tough place to play in is Cleveland High School. Me and Darryl were down there last year for the Roseville game when they played Cleveland. Tough place to play in. Fan base gets into the game. They packed the stands, but he was able to go into Cleveland and avenge that loss from October 17 when they lost in their house to Cleveland 28-10. Come back 3 weeks later, stun Cleveland in their house is a big job and good win for the Southeast Raleigh Bulldogs. Darryl's next team is, guess who? Right here in our backyard, the Rocky Mount Griffons. Nobody but me, Darryl, the Grit and Grind, and all of the people in the city of Rocky Mount said Rocky Mount could go into Northeast Guilford and win this game. But Rocky Mount was able to go in there and win a good game on the road, 29-20, making them also this week's Grit and Grind Road Warriors of the Week. Now, our next team for the Grit and Grind Road Warriors of the Week is no other than, I said, if you win the game, I would make you the Road Warriors. And let me tell you what I did for the Edenton Aces or the John A. Holmes Aces. If you're old school, you call it Edenton. If you're new school, you call it John A. Holmes. I told them if you go into North Duplin and you win this game, I would make you my Grit and Grind Road Warriors of the Week. Well, the Aces were able to do it. They went into North Duplin, played a good game. And let me tell you what I did. Yeah, I didn't pick you guys in my picks. You know why? Because I gave you motivation. I wanted you to go. I knew you could go into North Duplin and beat the Rebels in Mount Olive, but I just wanted to give you that little bit more motivation to make you go in there so that you could be this week's Grit and Grind Road Warriors of the Week. But you got a tough game this week on the road that we definitely will be talking about. And now, my second Road Warriors of the Week this week, no other than my favorite Cougar, Southwest Edgecombe. I knew you could do it. Nobody else thought you could do it. But Mr. Producer Man, can you please remind the people what I said last week when everybody thought that I was crazy for making this prediction? No, a spoiler. Our next one, Daryl. My favorite Cougar, Southwest Edgecombe.
Uh-oh.
Versus 9-2 East Duke.
Uh-huh. What? Now, last week, Southwest was playing bunt,
Yeah, it worked.
and you jumped with bunt.
I did.
Your favorite Cougar.
My favorite Cougar.
And you went with bunt.
I went with Bud.
Now, they playing East Duplin.
That's a good team.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a good team.
I'm going East Duplin.
My favorite Cougar for the upset. Southwest gets the round
Whoa.
4. They shot East Duplin and get the round 4.
Okay.
That's the upset, y'all.
Upset
That's not a
pick.
prediction, ladies and gentlemen. That's a spoiler.
Upset pick. Okay.
That's a spoiler right there. Southwest, I knew you could do it when everybody doubted you and they doubted me. I got so many messages. People send a message by a pigeon with a note title right to my house. They sent stuff to the job. I got emails. I got phone calls. I got texts. I got everything saying you are going to pick your favorite Cougars to go into Beulahville, North Carolina. That's right. Say it 2 times twice. Beulahville, North Carolina, and beat the East Duplin. And guess what I said? They could do it because I know they could do it because Southwest Edgecombe is a good football team playing good football at the right time. And like I told y'all last week, that was not a prediction. That was a spoiler right there. Southwest Edgecombe, congratulations for having one of the biggest upsets in your program history of Southwest Edgecombe by going in and beating a very good East Duplin team in their house. And you know, with Southwest, I got an honorary pew out there in the stands that says Grit and Grind Shawn. It's about time for me to come back down to the land of the Cougars and sit on that honorary pew out there and see my Southwest Edgecombe Cougars play football. I'm definitely going to make that happen next season. Those were our Grit and Grind Road Warriors of the week. You had Southeast Raleigh, Rocky Mount, the Edenton Aces, and my Southwest Edgecombe Cougars for our Grit and Grind Road Warriors. We're getting ready to hop into a commercial break, and we'll be back to find out what is this week's Grit and Grind Marquee Game of the Week, and of course, that Grit and Grind Primetime Game of the Week. You're watching the Grit and Grind live on Studio 67. Happy early Thanksgiving, everybody.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind. And as we say right now, while you're getting all the Thanksgiving food ready, you're getting the oven hot, put it on 350. You got the sweet potato pie, the pumpkin pie. You're getting all that stuff ready. You're baking the cakes. You're getting the collard greens, turnip greens, the radishes, and all that good stuff, the rutabagas, getting all that stuff together. You're getting the turkey dressed and ready, getting the stuffing ready, the mac and cheese. While you're doing all of that, we want to thank you for tuning to the Grit and Grind and allowing us to be the show you watch as you prep for your Thanksgiving meal on Thursday. But on Friday night, we're turning on the lights because we got to play some football, and I cannot wait because we got a good game all the way in Beaufort, North Carolina, when WPA 7-5 travels down to Beaufort to Pinetown, North Carolina, to play the Northside Pinetown Panthers, who are 12-0. This is a big game right here where every down matters, every matchup gets respect, and this is the night that all these kids are going to get to shine because this is the regional round in 1A football right here. WPA, I told you about it. There's no need to go back down that road again, so we're going to keep it simple this week, Grit and Grind. The 7-5, they played a tough non-conference schedule, and it was one of the hardest tests. But we said this non-conference schedule that WPA played was only going to make them better in conference play and playoff time, and they're checking the box on all of that right now. But Coach Field has those guys ready, and they're ready to play good football and try to get to the state championship, which starts with this game right here, because they win this one, they punch their ticket into a state championship. WPA just got to play Tiger-style football. They got good wins, but if you go back and look after that loss with Southwest Edgecombe, they're able to beat Mount Zion 36-16. Washington County Panthers, 46-6. Their rival, crosstown rival, Sally B. Howard, 64-10. North Edgecombe pitched a shutout, 70-0. Southeast Halifax, 64-40 in the playoffs. Then killed Pride last week, a game that was dubbed the biggest game in 1A football since Killed Pride and Warren County met a few weeks ago, beat them 42-16. The keys to victory for WPA is just this right here. Run the ball and establish the run game early. That's what WPA does good. Play that WPA Coach Field defense. Force turnovers and get Northside feeling uncomfortable. Northside likes to run the ball. You gotta limit the big plays with Northside. When I went back and watched that Jones Senior game, they love the big plays for 20, 30 yards. You gotta cut those out. Then you just need to set the tone. Your first 2 offensive drives. If WPA can do those things, they give themselves a good chance to come out a winner and advance to their first ever football state championship, already being home to 3 basketball state championships. Now our next team in this game is the Northside Pinetown Panthers, who will host this game, and both are right there in Pinetown, North Carolina. They're 12-0. They are disciplined, they're physical, they execute heavily. They are a squad that plays good defense. They steamroll their opponents because they got a lot of blowout wins, and they're just a good team with that suffocating defense. But when you're Northside, what you got to do right here in this game is you got to play that Northside Pinetown offense, running that ball. And it starts with Sincere Columbus. He's done an outstanding job running that ball. And you got to continue that ground and pound run game that you guys like to play. Then you got to limit Wilson Prep, who likes to get those outsides. You're going to have to contain that with that suffocating defense that you guys have had all season long when you pitched a lot of shutouts. This game is going to be down to who has the ball the last, who plays the most mistake-free football, and who wants to get to a state championship game more, the Tigers of WPA or the Panthers of Northside Pinetown. Now, my keys to victory for Northside, if I'm sitting under headset calling plays, these are my keys to victory if I'm still coaching. Run the ball and continue that balanced tempo of play calling on the offensive side of the ball. I watched that in that Jones game. You did good with that Jones Senior game. Don't let Coach Dickens and Wilson Prep get into that heavy run scheme that Wilson Prep likes to do. Make them have to go to a throwing game or a balanced offensive play calling game. Stay focused. I'm going to say that again. Stay focused and maintain discipline. It's the regional round. It's at your house. You're at home. They're coming to you. You're going to have your crowd there. They're going to have their crowd there. Just stay focused. Force WPA to a passing game like we said earlier. Win at the line of scrimmage. It goes back to what an old coach told me back when I was playing Pee Wee football. The lowest man wins at the line of scrimmage. Win at the line of scrimmage. If they can do that, they can give themselves a chance to punch their ticket to a 1A state championship game. I got a pick on it. Darryl sent his pick in, but we'll be making that at the Quick Pick 7. Our next marquee game will feature this week's road warrior, the Edenton Aces or the John A. Home Aces, if you're old school, new school, versus the hottest team in 2A football, made it to the 4th round and hosted this game at the Nest, Warren County. Warren County come in 10-2, Edenton comes in 8-4, and when I look at Edenton, they play a physical, traditional style of football. It's fundamentally sound program. They run the ball. They play ball hawk defense. They pretty much remind me of an old school coach. Won't call his name, but he knows what I'm talking about. He watched the grit and grind. Who coached? That's the style they play right there. They got a lot of power run formations, and they use a lot of passing attacks sometimes to throw you off. This Edenton team has been battle tested. They play good games. Had to go to North Duplin last week and win a hard road game. Want to continue their season and not be headed to the layup line, but they got to make that stop at the Nest in Warren County. That's a tough place to play in. If you're Edenton, stick to that power running. That's what you do best. Run the ball, set the tempo, set the offense. You did against North Duplin last week. All you got to do is duplicate it again. Their defense, just play lights out. That's it. The keys to victory for me for the Edenton Aces are this right here. Establish that run game early. Win on those early downs. Don't get on 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. Win on those 1st and 2nd downs. Make the Warren County Eagles play patient. Warren County loves to get after the ball. That defense loves to get after the ball. Make them have to start backing off that blitz and play patient. How do you do that? Establishing the run, open up that play action, force some passes throughout the game. And keep the Warren County offense off the field. Every time they're on the field, they're thinking touchdown. Keep them off the field. If you can do that, Asa Edenton, you can go in and get another good road win on the road against the hottest team in 2A football, the Eagles of Warren County. It's round 4. They made history. So they're going to be playing with a lot of emotions. So you could catch them on an emotional night and be able to sneak out with a very good win on your resume. But these Warren County Eagles are battle tested. Coach Hunt has made them play good football from the good teams they played. The Vance County game where they only lost by a point. The J.F. Webb game where they won the Battle I-85 trophy. All the other games in their conference, they lost to Kilt Pride, but it was back and forth. They love to create chaos on the defensive side. They're always looking to make a turnover. That's what fuels the Warren County Eagles. Can we make you fumble the ball or throw an interception that we can run for a pick 6? They're always looking to do that. As we stated, this is their first time playing in round 4, so they're going to be playing with a lot that night because they want to get to the regional round. And their regional round is next week because 2A, you get this Elite 8 round, then you get your Final 4, then you get your state championship. So they want to get there next week. But Warren County's success has been what I talked about all season on the grit and grind. Darrell has talked about it also himself. Offensive tempo and rhythm. When that tempo gets going and that play caller get going and they start running the ball with Giddens and all those guys, it's hard to stop Warren County. I have not seen a team besides Farmville Central and Pender County that run a faster offense than Warren County. And then you got kids like Graham on the defense side, Amir Gamble running the ball. They just got a lot of playmakers that Coach Hunt can rely on in the trenches of that game. The keys to victory for Warren County is this right here. Use space and speed. That's what you do the best. Create space so you can open up those pass lanes, create space for those running lanes, use the speed. Increase the tempo and keep Edenton guessing on what you're doing on the play calling. Keep them on their heels. Force Edenton in long 3rd downs. Edenton does not like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10. Force them in those type of 3rd downs. Bring that chaos on defense that Warren County likes. Create turnovers and win the 20-yard play game. Those big plays are what the Eagles thrive off of, getting those long 20, 30 yards for either a first down or touchdown. Win that, and Warren County can give yourself a chance to punch your ticket to the regional round in round 5, where you'll be waiting either the winner of the Tarboro game. Those are the first 2 marquee games right here on the Grit and Grind. We're going to hop into a commercial break, give you a chance to go take the food out of the oven, check on your food. Then we'll be right back for our other marquee game, and of course that Grit and Grind primetime game of the week. Go check that food. Don't watch the Grit and Grind because you don't want to burn it, because it's about time for Thanksgiving.
Now back to the Grit and Grind.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind. Now it's time for our third marquee game. We wanted to make sure we give you enough time while you're cooking, watching the Grit and Grind today, getting ready for Thanksgiving to go check that food you put in the oven. So now we are glad that you are back right here with the Grit and Grind and letting us get you ready for your Thanksgiving and get you ready for your Friday Night Lights as we continue on to round 4 of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association playoff round. Our next game is the Battle Undefeated. 12-0 MILLBROOK Wildcats versus 12-0 HOGGARD Vikings down there in Wilmington. MILLBROOK taking the bus ride down to Wilmington to play the Vikings. Their counterparts is maybe about 20 minutes away from them last week. The Roseville Rams took the ride, did not come back successful. HOGGARD was able to go in and just control that game. Can they do that with MILLBROOK now is the question. They got a lot of momentum on their side, beating a very, very good Roseville Rams team that was playing in the state championship last year. So if you're HOGGARD right now, you are feeling very good about yourself. But MILLBROOK has beaten this Roseville team this year too, so MILLBROOK has a lot to look forward to taking that long bus ride down to Wilmington. If you're MILLBROOK, you start off like this, Wildcats. You're athletic, you're explosive, and you're dangerous in space. We saw that in the Roseville game. They thrive on tempo play, where they play fast in the offense and defensive side. Perimeter speed and matchup advantages. Coach Marshall loves to get his guys in the right places, those wide receivers, for those one-on-one matchups where he feels like he can get advantage over a defensive back or a linebacker. When MILLBROOK gets this opening field going, they are a hard offense to contain. We saw it in the Roseville game. I saw it on a lot of their games when I go back and watch film on the MILLBROOK Wildcats. MILLBROOK also likes to create space with their playmakers. So they like to use stuff to create space, and they have several playmakers they can get the ball to right now. And that defense, don't even get me started. It is a ball hawk, straight to the ball, suffocating defense that the Wildcats have. Tackling in space on defense, they do that very well. You can check the box on that. And they limit the explosive plays. We saw that in that Roseville game. Roseville likes to either grind you out with a ground and pound game or catch you sleeping on an explosive play. They limit that, those MILLBROOK Wildcats. MILLBROOK does a lot, but it's going to take a lot to beat a very, very good HOGGARD team down there in Wilmington in their house. MILLBROOK's going to have to bring a lot, and the keys to victory for MILLBROOK this week is number 1. Use the tempo setting up early so you can catch HOGGARD off their toes. Let the defense catch HOGGARD also, because HOGGARD made a lot of turnovers with Roseville last week, able to get that score up 21-0 in the first half of Roseville turnovers. Use those playmakers and get the ball to those playmakers. Coach Marshall knows what he has on that offense. Get the ball to those playmakers and let them determine to get HOGGARD to back off that blitz when they like to send that package. Avoid the turnover game. HOGGARD, they thrive off turnovers. That's what helped them beat a good Roseville Rams team that was coming in on a good win streak to this game. A lot of people had Roseville win this game. HOGGARD was able to make them turn over the ball to win this game. Hit the big plays, the 20, 30-yard plays, MILLBROOK. That's what you guys like. You like to either beat your slow plays, those 8, 9-yard passes, those 5-yard passes, but hit those big plays we saw you do in the Roseville game. And the last thing, if you're MILLBROOK Wildcats, you're going into HOGGARD, you're going in their yard, in their house. It's going to be loud. I've been to HOGGARD down there. It's a loud place, a tough place to play in. They get very loud down there. Don't let HOGGARD control the clock. That's the key thing I saw when I watched the Roseville game on Friday night. HOGGARD was able to control that clock and just was not able to let Roseville get back into the game. If MILLBROOK can do those things right there, they can give themselves a chance to win a very good resume win and get to the Final Four next week. But they got a tough task because they got the HOGGARD Vikings who are playing at home, beat Roseville, avenged that loss for Roseville last year in the house. They avenged that loss, and now they're feeling like we're 1 game away from getting to the regional round and 2 games away from getting to a state championship. HOGGARD, the Vikings struggle, and their best thing they do is, guess what? Physical structure program that plays good football. They play balanced offense and a ball hawk defense. They love to execute everything right. They take pride in what they do. A strong defense, a methodical offense when I watch them on tape, a controlling pace of play, not too fast, not too slow, just at a good conservative speed to control the clock. And they make their opponents feel uncomfortable, and they love to control the clock and make them play their type of game, a slow grind out game. Hoggard's defense is very disciplined. We watched them on tape a lot. They're very disciplined. I watched them in that Roseville game. They stay at home. They wait for the play to come to them. They don't over-cheat too much on the blitz. They just come at the right timing to be able to get in the backfield. Hoggard also thrives on their special teams. Their special teams does a lot by punting and putting people on that 2, 5, 10-yard line to make you have long drives. And then also that defense loves goal line stance. When you get in the red zone, they love to dial up a package where they tighten up everybody to stop you from running the ball in. That's what I scouted when I watched the Hoggard Vikings. They're a good team, a well-organized team that plays good football. Hoggard loves to control the turnover game. Saw that in the Roseville game. That's what they love. This is going to probably be the hardest test for both of these schools right here to get to the regional round. But if you're Hoggard, the keys to victory are this right here. Run the football constantly. Consistency wins games. Run that football on the Millbrook Wildcats and wear that defense out. Because that defense of Millbrook is all over the field. Every time you look there in the backfield, we saw it in the Roseville game. Win that physical battle in the trenches. That's where football games are won at, in the trenches. Win those battles to make Millbrook have to go 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 12, 2nd and 13. Win those in the trenches. Limit Millbrook's explosive plays. Millbrook loves to catch you sleeping. Dial one back. Coach Marshall dials one back, has that quarterback drop one in. Next thing you know, you're putting 6 points on the board for a touchdown with a deep pass. Millbrook thrives off that. Stay disciplined on defense like you did in that Roseville game. That was the key to that game right there. You were able to stay disciplined and make Roseville adapt to play your style of football and not that Roseville style of football. And flip the field position on special teams. That's what helped Northern Nash get to round 4. The punter was able to put 71st on the 2-yard line. Win the special team battle by making Millbrook have to have long drives, pinning them on that 10-yard line, that 8-yard line, that 5-yard line. Make them have long drives, because if you give Millbrook short field, they will take advantage of it and they will light up the scoreboard. I got a pick on this game, probably the biggest game in the state of North Carolina. I cannot wait to see what Darryl pick is when we get to the Grit and Grind quick picks. Now it's time for the Grit and Grind prime time game of the week right here. This is the one that we will be at Friday night. Southeast Raleigh, this week's Grit and Grind Road Warriors on Darryl's list, coming out of Southeast Raleigh to take the ride to C-Town to play the Clayton Comets, who are 10-2, and a team that they beat at their house a few weeks ago in conference play. If you're Southeast Raleigh, you know what you got. You beat a hot Cleveland team, and you had a great season. Coach Campbell has a bunch of guys over there that are just athletes that want to play football. They thrive on the speed. They love speed. They love to get to the ball. You got Duck, who's a former Grit and Grind player of the week. That's the running back over there, and also a defensive specialist for Southeast Raleigh. Southeast does all the things right, and they check everything in the box. They're playmakers, they're athletic, you name it. They like to run the ball. They like to pass the ball. They can mix it up. They can play any style of football with the best teams. We saw that when we watched them play Cleveland live, and I saw when I went back and watched that Cleveland game from last Friday night. But Southeast has beaten Clayton. And a lot of people say it's hard to beat the same team twice, because now they got tape on you from this season and not last year's tape. But Coach Campbell, as I stated, has good ballers over there that just know how to run the ball and get in all the right position to give their Bulldogs a chance to win this game. The keys to victory for me, if I'm Southeast and I'm in the locker room right now with these young men, getting them ready to take the field at 7:30 p.m. if they kick it off at 7:30. I know most times Johnson County games kick off at 7:30. Is I'm telling them right here, guys, we're going to lean on the speed tonight. That's what's been our thing that has got us to round 4 of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Playoffs. We're going to attack the edge like we did in Cleveland. They were able to attack the edge, and they were able to get Cleveland off their game. We're going to blitz and make them go to a pass, then we're going to drop back in coverage. And when they pass, we're going to see if they can beat their guys against our defense. When we on the offense, we're going to protect the football because you don't want to have turnovers because Clayton thrives on the turnover game. And then guess what? We're going to make them turn over the ball and win the turnover game at the end of the night by making Clayton turn the ball over more than we do to give us a win, and then we're going to have explosive plays. If Southeast can do that, Southeast can win this game and head to the regional game next week where there'll be another road game for the Bulldogs, Southeast Raleigh. But they got a tough task because they got the COMETS, Clayton Comets, who are 10-2. There's a tough program to beat. It's at their house. Me and Darryl were there last year for the Crump Holders game. You can hear them all the way down Highway 70. You can hear them at the shopping center across the street with 2 highways in and a bridge in between. That's how loud it gets to that stadium. Clayton plays discipline. We saw that last year. They play discipline, fundamental, sound football. They play good offense. They run the ball. They ground and pound you. They pass it. They make you think about what you're going to call if you are the defensive coordinator. They limit big plays from the offense on the other side of the ball. They make you have to start second-guessing your play caller. We saw in that Crump Holders game. Crump Holders were able in the first 2 quarters to get Clayton on their heels, but Clayton was able to go deeper into their defensive playbook to make Crump Holders make some adjustments. Coach Chadwick thrives on the Comets playing physical football. Saw that and see that all season long. They love to stay and they love to get in your face and put you to the ground and open up those lanes, those linemen, the big boys on the line, so those running backs can get through there and get first downs. Defensive ends at Clayton love to get in the backfield and make tackles. We saw this when we watched them live last year, and we've seen it all year long when we've been watching them on tape. Clayton also depends on their quarterback. He can throw the ball in tight windows, and he can drop down and drop a dime right in the breadbasket for a touchdown. Clayton is a good team. They are who we thought they were. That's why we're going to play Friday night. Southeast Raleigh's going to have a tough test right here. But the thing is, they have beaten Clayton already in their house. Can they do it again is the question. But the keys to victory for the Clayton Comets is this right here. To avenge that loss earlier this season, Southeast Raleigh is number 1. Pound the ball and run it. We saw you do it last year. We've seen you do it all season. Run the ball on Southeast and make them get aggressive on defense to open up the passing lanes. Dominate the time of possession. Southeast, when they get on offense, Coach Campbell loves to hold that ball for a 12-minute quarter, at least 7 or 8 minutes, and give you the ball back with 3 minutes. They love a long drive. Southeast thrives on that. Keep everything in front of you, defense. Don't get beat. If Clayton goes to that play action, they go for that pass, don't let the wide receiver get in front of the DB. Stay in front of him so you don't get beat on those big plays. Make Southeast Raleigh have long third downs. Make them go third and long. And then let's see what Southeast can do when they go into their play calling book to convert those third downs. So if they don't convert, it's a turnover down or a punt, you get the ball back. And if you're Clayton, Southeast is a physical team. We saw them in that Cleveland game. They play physical. You're going to have to match their intensity and play just as physical as Southeast Raleigh does. If the Clayton Comets can do that, they can give themselves a chance to punch their ticket to a regional round and be 1 game away from appearing in the state championship. We'll get ready to hop into a commercial break, give you a chance to take on that last round of food that you just put in the oven. Then we'll be back for the grit and grind quick picks to see who Darryl picked this week and also see my picks. You're watching the Grit and Grind live on Studio 67 NCC.
Discover your purpose in science. Determined to help others heal. Ignite your purpose through culinary creativity. Fuel your purpose in technology and innovation. Your purpose starts here at Nash. Visit nashcc.edu.
hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind. It's time for that Grit and Grind quick pick segment right here. But before we can make these picks, and we know the season's over, and Daryl's not here. He's getting ready for Thanksgiving. He's doing all the cooking right now, getting everything ready for Thanksgiving. Let's take a look. Since Daryl's not here, and I got a little bit more time to gloat. And I told you, Daryl, every week, you will see this every week until the Grit and Grind signs off for this season. Reminding you that dominance just continues when it comes to these picks. Round 4 high school football right here. We got a lot of great games. Let's look at that first game and let's see who Daryl picked on that first game. Our first game is no other than we got the Tarboro Vikings versus East Blandon. I don't know Daryl's pick. Mr. Producer, Mr. Producer Man, are we sure Daryl picked Tarboro? Daryl picked Tarboro. You know me, I am not going against my Vikings. 18 consecutive seasons that they have practiced on Thanksgiving and played a game on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. Congratulations to Tarboro for continuing that streak. My pick is the Tarboro Vikings. Our next game we have is no other than Farmville Central. Got another road win. Could have been this week's Road Warriors, but we just didn't have enough time to add them. But shout out to Farmville Central. Going into Martin County, me and Daryl both said they could win this game and get to this round right here. Who did Daryl take this week? He's taking Farmville Central. Good pick for Daryl. I told you, Farmville Central runs a high-octane offense, a very fast-tempo offense. But the team they're playing, James Keenan, does the same thing. I'm taking James Keenan Wildcats to win this game. Great season for the Farmville Central Jazz. Coach Cook will definitely get connected with you next season. Our next game is Kinston. They're not playing basketball in Kinston. They're playing football in Kinston. And let's see who Daryl took. Is he taking K-Town? Or he's taking Northeastern? Daryl's taking Kinston on this one. Good pick for Daryl right here. Kinston has been playing good football. They got a wide receiver and a quarterback, two-man tandem that has been wreaking havoc over here in the eastern side of North Carolina. I'm taking Kinston on a big upset to beat Northeastern in Northeastern. Kinston could be next week's Road Warriors. Our next game, my favorite Cougar, Southwest Edgecombe versus the West Craven Eagles. Big game right here. Both of them play in conference play. West Craven was able to beat Southwest in conference play. Let me see who Daryl got. Oh, that's a flag on the play for Daryl. He's taking the West Craven because they beat Southwest Edgecombe a few weeks ago in conference play. Well, guess what, Daryl? My favorite Cougar wins this game and gets to the regional round. Southwest Edgecombe playing good football at the right time. Our next game, Crowerton, a team that's been quiet. Won a lot of good games. C4 beat Havelock last week. Going to play the hottest team in 5A football right now. The Warriors of Hunt have not been to the fourth round in 20 years. I've talked with some of the students. I talked with the parents. They said this team wants to break every record that their coach set at Hunt. Let's see who Daryl took. He took the right pick. He took the right pick on this. There's something special with this Hunt Warriors team. They're playing this game at home. Hunt Warriors get to the regional round next week. Give me the Warriors of Hunt. Coach Jack, we'll be about to see you next week at the regional round. Rocky Mount versus Northside Jacksonville. This is a good game right here. Rocky Mount able to go on the road 2 weeks back to back and win a game. They won a game at home, won a game on the road. Can they continue their streak, or will the Northside Jacksonville come and host Rocky Mount and win at their house? Let's see who Daryl took. He's taking Rocky Mount. This is a hard pick for me. This is a hard pick because I watched Northside Jacksonville play, and they play good football. But I watched this Rocky Mount team that's been playing good football at the right time. I'm going to take Rocky Mount on this game. I know a lot about Northside Jacksonville, but I'm taking Rocky Mount on this one. Our next game, Middle Creek coming to play the Northern Nash Knights in Death Valley. Northern Nash got past their biggest rival when it comes to playoff football last week at their house, 71st. Now they're looking to continue their season and get to a regional game. They have not been to one, I believe, and they didn't go to one last season, but been to two seasons before that. Can they get to that regional game? Daryl's taking who? He's taking the Knights of Northern Nash, and you know me, I don't got the helmet Northern Nash, but if I had it, I'll put it on. Give me my Knights to win this game. Our next game right here is our marquee game, Wilson Prep, taking the long bus ride to Beaufort, North Carolina to play Northside Pinetown, who is 12-0. Northside Pinetown plays good football. Watched that Jones Seniors game, saw a lot of clips, a lot of footage on them. But they're playing a Wilson Prep team that's playing good football at the right time. Daryl, who you taking on this one? Daryl's going to go with Tigers of Wilson Prep. Well, you know me. I'm sorry, Northside Pinetown. I really want that helmet. The students over there want that helmet from Northside Pinetown on the gritty ground. So let's make that happen. But I got to go with the Tigers. Give me a good Tiger pride for WPA. Our next marquee game is the home, John A. Home, Edenton Aces, going to play the hottest team in 2A football in the nest in Warren County. Warren County right now been playing lights out. Every time they get a chance, they step up to the opportunity. They answer the bell. Let's see who Daryl picked. Did he pick his second love? He picked his favorite school. That's his second love, his favorite school, Warren County. Coach BJ and the boys of Warren County. I'm not going against the hottest school in 2A football. Give me Warren County for the win right here. Our next game, MILLBROOK versus HOGGARD. MILLBROOK taking the long bus ride straight down I-40 to Wilmington, North Carolina to play HOGGARD, where Roseville last week was unsuccessful to go into HOGGARD and beat them. Can MILLBROOK give us the formula how to beat the Vikings of HOGGARD? Do the Vikings of HOGGARD punch their ticket to the regional game? Who's Daryl taking? He's taking the Wildcats of MILLBROOK. Well, Daryl, guess what? Just like you are right. I'm taking MILLBROOK. MILLBROOK goes in and wins this game. MILLBROOK is a very scary good team when it comes to 8A football and punch their ticket to a state championship. Now the grit and grind, primetime game of the week right here. Me and Daryl will be at this game on Friday night, so we will not make a pick because we cover the Southeast Raleigh Bulldogs and the Clayton Comets. But we ask you to make your pick in the comment box so that everybody can see who you're picking to win the grit and grind primetime game of the week. I am so ready. I cannot wait till Friday night. I'm counting down. I got the Thanksgiving food right now. You need to go check the food. So hit pause. Go check your food and pick right back up where we at. You need to go check your food in the oven. But I cannot wait. Now, as the season starts to wind down, just like we told Northside Pinetown, just like we're telling the Clayton Comets and everybody in between from Manio to Murphy, because the grit grounds live from post to post, coast to coast. If you don't see your school's helmet on the Grit and Grind, drop us a message on Grit and Grind Podcast NC. Tell us how we can connect, and we will be glad to put your helmet, like all 41 other helmets, right here on the Grit and Grind. Send us a message, and we can make it happen. Also, while you're doing that, stop by Studio 67 NCC on YouTube and Instagram. Hit that like button if you like this video, and also make sure you subscribe to Studio 67 NCC on YouTube and Instagram so you can keep up with everything going on Studio 67. And also, you're stuck in the car, you're driving in traffic, you're going down I-40 to that Wilmington game where you're going to have HOGGARD versus MILLBROOK. You're going to Clayton where you're stuck in traffic over there on 70 where you're getting ready to see Clayton play Southeast Raleigh. So while you're stuck in traffic, don't watch the Grit and Grind and Drive. We don't encourage that, like we don't encourage you to text and drive. Don't watch the Grit and Grind and Drive. Just download Studio 67, search for that on Spotify, Amazon Music, and you can get the same version of the Grit and Grind, just without the picture, but you still get all the audio and enthusiasm of the show. We want to thank you for watching the Grit and Grind this week as you're preparing your Thanksgiving dinner. Make sure you drop in the comment box your favorite Thanksgiving dish, because we definitely want to talk about that on round 5 next week, who's everybody's favorite Thanksgiving dish is, and have a great Thanksgiving and a great Friday night in round 4. Daryl's not here, but I got to ask everybody watching the Grit and Grind live, do you have the grit and do you have the grind? And we'll see you next week for round 5 on the Grit and Grind, live from coast to coast, post to post. Let's go.